Well, hello everybody, friends, subscribers. I'm Ian, my shed, you're welcome. So, Check It Bits microwave. Well, I know everybody, man and his dog, has done a video on taking a microwave to bits. Not going to be much difference, but I'll give it a go. Right, so I picked a microwave up. There we are, microwave. Possibly the cheapest microwave I think you'll ever see. If that's got any copper in there around the transformer, I'll probably plat sawdust, but we'll have a go. So come on, let's have a look. Let's check it bits. Now I don't think we won't need a great too many tools for doing this, but some snips, screwdriver, and my favourite tool, my hammer. I've already taken a few screws out, which means I can just take the top off. And we'll put that at one side. There ain't actually a great deal to a microwave. You've got your transformer that's going to take your 240 volts and convert it into very high voltage, which is then going to be fed to the magnetron, which is going to produce the microwaves. We'll get to that in a minute. You've got a fan that cools the whole thing down, and on this side you've got a very simple controls, power level and timer. So let's take the gubbins out of this. Right, so that's that lot stripped. Bit of light iron, the front and the back. That's light iron, the casing, and if you have a look in there, wow, I have never seen that in a microwave before. Something's gone there with a bang. So on a closer inspection, having a look at the magnetron, and you can see that's well blown. Never seen that in a microwave before. Scrap wise, that's it. Microwave, bit of wiring, transformer, little bit of copper on there, little bit of copper inside of those, copper inside the monopole fan. As you know, we've got a little bit of copper in there. If we have a look at the micro switches in there, they'll have a bit of brass, a little bit of silver content, little synchronous motor for the turntable, capacitor, transformer. And if that transformer's copper, I'll eat my bloody heart. But right, come on, let's have a talk about this magnetron. We took everything out of the microwave, and I'll show you that in a second. Well, it's a little chat about safety. First and foremost is the capacitor. That can pack a wallop. If that's been plugged in and you've got it, that's holding a charge. You can get a fair wallop out of that. So before I did anything, I shorted it out, just on the safe side. Looking at the state of that microwave, it's not been plugged in for ages, it blew a while ago. Highly unlikely there's going to be any charge left in that. Better safe than sorry. So, quick short, you know you're safe. Safety. The magnetron, the bit that shoots out the microwaves. Yes, you look online and you look at everybody and they're all saying, oh my god, you'll get beryllium poisoning. Well, yeah, you can. Pre-2007, the insulator, that white bit there, might be pink, might be white. It was common practice to use beryllium oxide, and Google it. But if you get beryllium sensitivity, if you breathe in the dust and you get in your lungs, you basically catch something that you can't, that's incurable. You die. End of story. But since 2007, they tend to use aluminium oxide. However, to be safe, I ain't going to break it if I can help it, and I'll probably wear gloves while I play with it. But we'll get round to the magnetron in a minute. Let's have a look at the transformer. That's where the money is. Not in this one. It'll be aluminium. If you want to do it quickly, you get a grinder with a blade and you run it along the welded seam. A bit like this. However, if you don't want to spend the money, you don't want to use a grinder disc, slitting disc, it all costs money. You can do it for free. That is Scrap Kingdom. I got this from you. You take an hammer, take your block, and you just belt the shit out of it where the seam is. And it will fall off. So you can do it quickly, or you can do it cheaply. And it burns a few calories as well. Now then, if I weren't just stripping this for scrap, there's whole lots of things you can do with these microwave transformers. MOT transformers, microwave oven transformers. Look it up on YouTube. But you can make electromagnets out of them. You can make spot welders out of them. You can do all sorts with them. As far as we're concerned, we just want the money. So we'll give it a quick bash. Should have showed you that, shouldn't I? Straight away the weight tells me that is not copper. Just to prove it, just for the hell of it. There you are. Lacquered aluminium, not worth a candle. I knew that. That microwave was that cheap. I knew that weren't one with copper. The primary has to be copper though. Has to be. Bit more iron. Alright, so we've got the secondary coil, aluminium, not with a candle. We've got that bit, which I don't know what that bit does, but it's part of the transformer gubbins. And we've got the primary, which of course has to be copper. Very little weight. Okay, let's tackle the magnetron. Evil of evils, don't touch. It surprises me how many of the scrappers on YouTube throw this and the part of the contents away. Right, it's a simple pressed steel construction with an hammer. You can get the lid off. There's some copper on the inside, and if you kind of bash it like that and bash it like that, you can take off the cap, bit of brass, I've broke the magnet, which bit of a shame really. You can, if you're more careful, you can take the magnet off, which are you know, quite strong. Got loads of uses. And then you can pull it apart for that copper bit. We'll snip them off. Now that's pink. So is that beryllium oxide? I don't know. Got to be careful. We'll take that magnet off. I like them. I like these microwave magnets. We've got the aluminium heat shields. And you can faff around and get pliers and roll them off. Look for my favourite tool. Then you can just pull them off. We'll get to that in a second. Alright, there are some dangers involved in doing this. I've just cut through some aluminium. I've filled the air full of small aluminium particles, which ain't going to do me else any good. They say that Alzheimer's is caused by aluminium. All for YouTube, eh? All for YouTube. Nice bit of copper. We'll do that again. You've got a coil inside. For snips. Pull it out. There's a bit of copper. The electrical connectors are magnetic. So there's nothing left in that we're scrapping. Right, the magnetron. Look. That's copper. Folk throw them away. They throw them away because they're scared of that and that. Let me show you something. Right, so we've cut those off. We've not fractured them, we've not hammered them. We're very unlikely to get any aluminium oxide or beryllium oxide into the atmosphere. Look at that from earlier. What sort of power came out of that to blow that? Right. As I said, you fed high voltage to the magnetron, which passed down those two little rods, and those two rods are titanium. And they go through the resonator chamber. That's copper. That's iron. So we need to separate that. It's spot welded in 2, 4, 6, 8 points either side. Quite a weighty little chunk of copper that. So I'm going to cut those two ends off. You've got a bit of a choice. You can take a reciprocating saw, or as they call it over the pond there, a sawzall. You know, just it's only copper, all said and done, and just whip through it. That's my tool of choice. No right way, no wrong way, just some way. It's gonna get hot, that, so I'll hold it with ease. let's talk about this. It's better. Right, so let's talk about this. That's a nice chunky piece of copper. You'll be able to see there, it's full of chambers. You can see all these chambers, they're all connected by these, I'll call them silver, but they ain't silver. Running down through the centre was these titanium rods. Right, so how does a microwave work then? Okay, show you. Bottle of beer, well, a bottle, tiny bit of beer in it. Right, if I blow across the top of this, you heard a sound while I was blowing. So blowing didn't make any noise, but you heard some sound. That's because the air that I was blowing resonated within that bottle, or should I say resonated within that chamber. So if you think about, we blew high voltage electricity across the top of this bottle, across these chambers, and if these chambers were tuned to the right size, as in if that was full of water, if that was full of beer and I blew, you'd get a higher pitch. So likewise, so these chambers have been scientifically designed that when you blow high voltage electricity across it, they'll resonate in those chambers and produce sound. But the sound will be microwaves. It'll be microwave radiation, you know. Everything's a frequency. If it's I'm going into amplitude and all that lot, amplitude and frequency. However, if it's long and like that, then you've got a very deep sound. This won't be funny. And if it's really tiny and fast, you've got a really high voice. And if it's so fast that you can't hear it, you then start going up the electromagnetic wavelength spectrum, and you get so high that you actually get X-rays, but before that you get microwaves. That's how a microwave works. So you blow high voltage electricity across it, it goes through, it resonates in those chambers. It's designed that those silver coils, they're not silver, I wish they were, but they're not silver, direct them to one point, but they want to go anywhere. That's why you get the that's why you've got the magnets. So the magnets direct them to in a certain direction, which, as we know, comes out at this end and then into your microwave, whizzes round, makes all the water molecules in your food vibrate. When they vibrate, they get hot, cooks your food. Which leads to an interesting point. You go on YouTube and you see people play with magnetrons. Right, extremely dangerous unless you know what you're doing. Right, it's like that light. You switch a light on, you don't get a beam going in one direction unless it's a spotlight. Light diffracts and goes everywhere. And that's the same with microwave radiation. You take your what's left of your magnetron. Right, and you see people take these out, you know, and they point it at a fluorescent tube and it makes it glow. Well, the thing is, once you've taken it out of its confines, unless you put a parabolic reflector behind it, that microwave radiation is going to go omnidirectional, and it ain't very good for your eyeballs. Ain't very good at all. It ain't very good for you. I'm digressing here, but I used to work with a guy, and he was in he's from South Africa, and he was in the South Africa. No, South Africa. I can't say it. He's from South Africa, and he was a medic. And he tells me a tale a number of years ago that part of his training to become a medic, he had to spend a certain amount of time in hospital. Oh, he told me some weird and wonderful tales, you know. Anyway, this tale is, they brought a guy in, and he had a very successful, I'm going to call it a pie shop, sandwich shop, food shop, but it was very successful, you know. And the guy thought it took him too much trouble to keep opening and shutting the door of the microwave, so he took the door off, jammed the micro switch closed, but turned everything off, and had it running all the time. So somebody come in, can I have a pie, can I have a hot chicken leg, whatever, he'd stick it in the microwave. Okay, 30 seconds, put his hand in, bring it out. And he was doing that all day. Of course, the microwave was working, so he kept putting his hand in and out of the microwave that were working. The guy cooked his hand. I don't know the result of that, but that's the story. So anyway, back. Don't go playing about with magnetrons unless you've done a real good research, because you can damage your eyeballs, and you only get two, so look after them. This was about Check-It Bits microwave for scrap. Come on, what did we get scrap wise? So we took a microwave to bits. So what did we get? Well, we ended up with a case full of light iron, about 5 kilos, still fetching 9p a kilo, so 50p. Tiny bit of copper wire out the transformer, the lacquer coated aluminium wire, more aluminium, simple pole motor, another motor, some screws. We got 3 micro switches out of them, which of course if you take one apart you can take out the copper and brass elements, and of course on the end of every one of those is the contact tips of silver, which I'll place into that tub, or take me forever and a day to fill that, I think. A little bit of wire, bunch of plastic, chunk of copper. That's it. Took a microwave to bits for scrap. Well, come in this morning to have a look at the aftermath. People are always going to ask the question, is it worth it? Well, no. I mean, depends what you want to do with your time. Micro scrapping, it's a hobby for me. Produces a little bit of money, and you get to take things to bits and see how things work and learn things, you know. I do urge you, if you do get the chance, go on YouTube, look up the documentary on the guy who invented the microwave. Very interesting. Well, until the next Check-It Bits, it's got to be that boiler, or the television, or the stick welder, or the Hoover. Catch you all on the next vid.